You hired a contractor because you needed help fast and you thought it would be so much easier than hiring a full-time employee or even a part-time employee. There's less commitment, less hassle, right? So you went to one of those platforms and you found somebody you thought would be just great. Now you're stuck in limbo. You're not really getting what you wanted. You're not even sure if they're working on it. And you really are wondering if you wasted your money and your time. You just feel like you have zero control because they're an independent contractor. We're not supposed to tell them what to do. The worst part, you're paying really good money and still doing the work yourself, or at least cleaning up the mess, waiting too long, and then having to start over with another independent contractor. This is not serving you or your business well. And it hurts because you're losing time you'll never get back, right? That time that you waited because you weren't sure. Maybe they're working on it. They could still be working on it. I hope they're working on it. Hope. Oof, that one's a killer. That delay is keeping your business stuck and you can't move forward with this project. And you're creating more work for yourself because now you have to worry, you have to wonder, you have to hope, you have to pray, and you have to follow up, re-review everything, start working on the project in case they don't get it done, start writing some notes because you've got thoughts and you haven't seen anything yet. It just feels like you're having the stress of doing the work compounded with the stress of wondering if somebody you hired to do the work will actually do the work. And you're building resentment. You're getting more and more in your head. You're like, I can't believe they haven't delivered it yet. I should have just done it myself. Ooh, I know. I hear that from you all the time. And contractors are unreliable or they're flibbity gibbets and they do it on their own timelines. That mindset is keeping you stuck in operator mode. This is keeping you holding it so tight because you're having these experiences that are less than helpful. I don't want this for you. The bottom line is when contractors don't deliver, you stay trapped in the day-to-day. That is exactly what you're trying to escape by hiring an independent contractor. The solution we're going to talk about, 3 things that will improve results when you're working with independent contractors. Some of them you're not going to want to hear. Some of them you're going to want to hear. But in the end, I'm trying to make sure you and your business are getting what you need to thrive successfully without overwhelm. It doesn't have to be this hard, my friends. All right. Number 1, did you treat this engagement like you were hiring boss? Because you are. Let's be clear. Independent contractors is hiring. When you engage with them, you are hiring an independent contractor. Why in the world would we not want to go through the entire process that we use for hiring when we bring on a direct report employee? You need to vet them properly. Absolutely. Check their references. Yeah, you can ask for client references. This is how we know what we're getting ourselves into. You want to review their work if they have examples, depending on the kind of engagement or project you're working on. And you want to have real conversation about the fit, especially if this is going to be an ongoing month-to-month engagement. I would tell you, even if it's just a one-time engagement, this has to happen. It is critical that you understand how they work and how that's going to support or create chaos for you. You need to set clear terms up front. You need to know deadlines and their capacity and what's the revision process. Not just how many do you get before you're charged more money. What's the time frame, right? How long do they need to rework on any suggestions you have? When can you reasonably expect that to happen? Yes, of course, we also need to talk about the pay. Don't settle. Don't settle. If your gut says, I don't know, they're available and they're willing to do it really fast, but your gut says there's just something that's just not quite right, don't be desperate about this. It's okay to want a quality independent contractor. In fact, one of the mistakes I see is business owners under hiring independent contractors because they're less expensive. It's just one project. Really, if you're good at what you're doing, an independent contractor should be expert level. They're managing their own industry, their own education, their own turnaround. They're great at what they do, and they have to pay their own taxes and run their own business. Independent contractors are usually a little more expensive for the quality that you would get in an employee. I know that's not what you thought, but that's the truth of it. Generally speaking, independent contractors that are going to deliver quality work that you're looking for are going to be more expensive from an hourly perspective than somebody you brought in to be an employee. Now, employees are long-term and there's other things that go into compensating and retention. I get that, but there's also loyalty and tenure. Not for today. We're not comparing employees to independent contractors. I want to get back to getting you the results you need from those independent contractors that are going to help your business grow. If we know that we're dealing with the fact that independent contractors are hiring, and I need to use my hiring vetting process here, the second thing that you can do to get improved results is make sure you are crystal clear about what you want. There's a big difference between saying, I need some help with my email marketing and I need weekly outreach for the next 4 months to make sure that we're following the themes. And I want to be able to review drafts at least 3 days before they're posted. What do you want to feel good that this project is delivering? The more clear we can get before we hire them, while we're vetting them, the more clear they will be able to deliver for you. That's what I want. And if you don't know exactly what success looks like, that's totally okay. A lot of times business owners will work with independent contractors because we're trying maybe a new thing in our business. Maybe we only need 10 hours of work on this particular knowledge or expertise or workflow. And it's not quite at the level that I need a part-time employee or I'm experimenting. So I want to use an independent contractor. I get that. We don't always know what we need, but we do know the result we want. I'm looking to create email campaigns that increase conversions. I want more sales off of my email marketing list. It would mean that I am looking for someone that is a copywriter that is able to help with engagement and conversion and getting action-oriented behaviors out of an audience. That is different than somebody that knows how to write social media. It's not the same. We want to make sure that we are clear on what we want and we're asking people to tell us why they're the right fit. And trust yourself. You do know more than you think you know. You might not be a copywriter, but you're going to know if somebody's telling you, oh, I've spent a really long time writing newsletters for my church. That might be great, but what action came out of it? We're hiring somebody for action, for results. That's where we have to focus in our vetting and our setting of success and defining what we want. How they write, how frequently they write, that would be something you would ask your expert that you're vetting to recommend to you and give us examples of where that has worked successfully and tell you how that will apply to your audience. Now, this is a very specific example. I just picked copywriting and email engagement because, well, a lot of us are doing that kind of stuff. As business owners, you might be able to relate. Maybe you've tried to hire an independent contractor to help you with some email or marketing writing. This could be for any position, any project that you're talking about where you're not bringing them into your business as a direct report employee. We can't control how they do it, but we need to be crystal clear on the result and what success will look like so that we know exactly how to tell them to be successful and what to hold them accountable to. Because you're going to enter into a contract with these people and you should not pay them if you do not get what you needed. But we have to be clear about what that's going to look like so that it's easier and faster if we do need to fire them and move into a different engagement with somebody else. And then just know yourself. What do you need to see to make sure that you're feeling like this is the result? All right. I want to see all the emails laid out for the next 4 months. I want to make sure our brand is specific in there. I want to make sure there's a call to action. Know what you need to see to feel good that they're delivering results, because You want to set them up for an honest deliverable. You don't want to be like, but wait, where are all the drafts? I thought I was going to get to look at them first after they think they're done with the project. This is about communicating ahead of time as well. All right. The third thing we need to talk about is your awareness that with independent contractors, you're setting up a relationship. I know that's what all hiring is. We are building a business relationship. This will be a conditional relationship. But if this is something, especially if it's something that's going to be month to month, where you're working with someone on a professional level, you need to understand how you're going to communicate. How do we like to check in with each other? What meetings do you want to have with them? Do you have a project management system that you want to share and expect them to be putting updates? How frequently do you expect that? What kind of response time do you want on your emails? I was just working with a client on this week. If we send the email out and it's in the ether and we don't get a response, we don't know if they've seen it. We don't know if they're alive. We don't know that the project's almost finished because they haven't even replied to the email to let us know that they received it. This whole response time policy can be part of how you do business, and you can use it for employees and independent contractors. But you need to make sure with independent contractors that they're going to be able to meet your response time. Some people choose to be independent contractors because they don't want to be on email every single day. You're going to say, I'm looking for response times, ideally within 24 business hours, just to let me know that you received the email. And that's when an independent contractor says, well, actually, I only work 2 days out of the week, so I will only be looking at my emails on Thursdays and Fridays. And you get to decide whether you want to work with them on that or not. It's okay if somebody wants to do it differently than you, and it's okay if you want what you want to feel confident. It just means that the two of you shouldn't work together. Better to identify this now. Independent contractors, you can ask for communication. You can ask them to attend meetings. You have to pay them for these things, of course. But if it's going to make you feel like you know what's going on, then I say do it. I think it's always worth the money to stay in front of the people that are influencing your success, which is every single hire, whether a vendor, independent contractor, or employees. You're the boss. You get to set the tone. The sooner we talk about it with them, the better chance we have of getting it from them. This is how we improve results. We start at the beginning. We start with our hiring and vetting process. We set up the processes that we know will make us feel confident that the work is being done the way we need for our company's success. This is you. You're in charge of it. You've got this. You can do it. We just need to make sure we're setting up the communication, that we're vetting them because we are hiring and you are the boss and this is your place of control. And we need to make sure we're crystal clear on what success looks like. If you can do these, you can really improve the kind of results you're getting from your independent contractors. I believe it. And I think that independent contractors are a really great piece of growth for business owners, especially when we're not quite at the capacity where we need 20 hours of a certain expertise. If we don't need 20 hours a week, then we don't need a part-time employee yet, much less a full-time employee, which is traditionally up to 40 hours. It's okay if we know we need some help. Independent contractors help us get over that hump. You can be very transparent about that, especially if you're in rapid growth. Look, I'm bringing you on right now. I expect to hire an employee to do this. That might be 6 months from now. It might be 2 years from now. But I want to let you know that I'm using your services until such a time as we're ready to have an employee. And I can hear you all now. You're killing me. You're like, I'll just offer it to them and they'll want to stay with me forever. And then they'll grow into part-time and then they'll grow into full-time. Nope. Independent contractors like the autonomy. They like the project work. They don't like being told how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, and then, oh yeah, come and do these things too. They want to feel in control. Can it work? Possibly. Does it work more often than not? No. People that are looking to be employees and consistent work and show up reliably and doing the same thing are looking for employment. Independent contractors who want the autonomy of how they do it, when they do it, and how often they do it are looking for independent contractor gigs. It's generally not the same thing. Make sure you are being realistic with your expectations when you're building this relationship with independent contractors. Here's what you need to know. Getting better results from independent contractors isn't about finding magical unicorns who can read your mind. It's about treating contractor relationships like the business transactions they are. Yes, there's people involved, but the more professional we can treat this in setting it up, the more professional they can treat it in delivering results. That's the idea. Two professionals coming together to engage with each other. Stop giving away your power. Stop assuming that an independent contractor knows what they're doing. You need to verify. You need to be in front of them, boss. You need to know how it's going. And that has to be something you set up at the beginning so that you can really stay in control of how they're influencing the success of your business. Start getting the results you're paying for goodness sakes. It's what I want for you. And if you know that you're ready to step into your own boss role and you're ready for more business success and need a trusted resource you can turn to for training, don't forget to check out the People Side of Biz Institute. We're on School, SKOOL, the platform, outstanding platform. Everybody should check it out. All kinds of things there. But in the People Side of Biz, you're going to find out that you get training on your boss best practices. There's peer support. There's other business owners celebrating the wins. And yes, we even celebrate firing because we know all the angst that goes into making that decision. And you get access to expert customized answers on how you can build, lead, and celebrate with your own kick-ass team. Thank you for your time. Thank you for showing up here. Thank you for building jobs in your community. Thank you for giving back to your customers and delivering for them in that big way that you are. I'll see you next week. Boss on.